No, there's no that. And move right into our action items. Item 3A is to approve the November 6th meeting minutes. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And next is our one information item of the day, which is the draft January board agenda. And for that, I will turn it over to our CEO, Brad Miller.
Good morning. Good morning. So in your packet and at your places, or not at your places, in your packet is the draft agenda for 3 weeks from now, January 29th. We have a new board member. County Commissioner Chris Scher is replacing Commissioner Dave Eggers on PSDA. And I think also on Ford Pinellas, I think that is the case also. The County Commission Chair makes their recommendations for positions at the final meeting in December, and the new chair of the County Commission is Brian Scott, and he called me and Whit to let us know about Commissioner Scher joining PSDA. Good. We've got 2 agreements right now on the consent agenda that will be at the Finance Committee in a week, in 2 weeks. First, an interlocal agreement with the City of St. Petersburg. This is related to a congressional earmark that was approved 2 years ago. The way the earmark was approved, recommended by Congresswoman Castor, and then ultimately approved by the federal government, she kind of combined two Pinellas projects into one. A vehicle for the St. Petersburg Pier. If you've been to the pier, they have the tram that runs back and forth, and there's money for a electric-powered tram vehicle, and then also electric infrastructure for PSDA. It was all in the same earmark. So PSDA is the grant recipient for both. And in fact, PSDA will actually be the procuring agency even for the tram. And then this agreement, there's actually going to be 2 agreements. This is just an agreement to provide the funding to the City of St. Petersburg from the grant for the tram, and there'll be a lease agreement, a $1 lease for the life of the tram between PSDA and the City of St. Petersburg. They're going to operate and maintain the vehicle for its life. So that's what that agenda item is. And this will also go to the St. Petersburg City Council also. And I think I heard yesterday that the lawyers have maybe gotten the final draft of this agreement, or the lease agreement then, finally. And then the second item that is on the suggestion for the consent agenda is a similar agreement with Clearwater on sharing the cost of undergrounding the utilities along Myrtle Avenue there, where the Transit Center is and the new City Hall. The city is going to work with Duke Energy to underground some big power lines that run along that road. And PSA will just pay its share based on the number of feet of our block versus the other blocks that they're doing it. So that's on the agenda as well. We have a nominating committee meeting next week that will, I think, hopefully make a recommendation to have our Vice Chair, Saraki, move to Chair of PSDA next year, and then Secretary Treasurer Fig Sanders move to Vice Chair on up, and then also assign any vacancies on the committees. Commissioner Eggers not being on the board, there'll be a couple of one vacancy, maybe. The nominating committee will make all those recommendations to the board on the 29th. And then I think we talked about having a little, well, once that is approved at the beginning of the meeting, then there'll be like a little ceremony and then the great Mayor Surratt take over.
Excited.
Passing of the gavel.
What day
Hand
is the
it over.
nominating meeting on?
Is it Monday? Rach? Or, I don't think Rachel can talk very much. Let's see here.
Gina, you've been
That's
done it
what
for
I
what,
thought.
2 years? You did
Monday.
great.
Monday,
I've learned so
2:30.
much from you,
Yeah,
thank you.
because I'm in Tallahassee,
I really have.
Oh, very
and I'm
good.
on the nominating committee.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'd send a message saying I'm not here, so I'll be in Tallahassee. I'm on the nominating committee, but I'll be in Tallahassee Monday, so I will be here.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to join by Zoom?
Probably can do via the phone while I'm driving.
Okay.
I'm not driving,
Okay.
I'm passenger.
The 6B on the agenda is a contract that we're bidding out right now. I think the bids are due today on, it's called Transit Infrastructure Construction, which I think has been a problematic name because I don't know what that means. It's concrete. It is a concrete company, construction company that provides porous concrete for our bus shelters around the county. And that contract is up. And we are hopefully gonna get multiple bids today. I'm not sure if that will happen. And finally, the community bus plan is, we're out in the community getting public comment now on it, and so far, I think we're getting very positive comment generally. The schedule is to have a public hearing on the proposed changes in February, and then the board take action, final action on it in March. It wouldn't go into effect until October 1, so we would still have more public outreach from March to October to inform the customers about what the new setup, the new routes are and everything like that. But we'll give an update on the public comment received to the board and to the planning committee this month also. That's the plan. And then based on the discussion we had at the legislative committee, I think maybe we might want to talk a little bit about this taxi, the Uber and Lyft
Right.
issue
Mhm.
at the board meeting also.
Didn't you change the name of the community bus plan? Doesn't it have a
A better name? Yes, it does.
Connected Community Bus Network.
Connected
Community Bus
I
Network.
like that.
See, I read my email. The deep dive. I guess Brad didn't. I'm kidding.
So that is the schedule for the board meeting on the 29th. Prior to that, starting this Friday, I hope you all join me in downtown St. Petersburg for the ribbon cutting for our
10 a.m.
10 a.m. For the new Sunrunner station by the pier.
You going? I'm gonna go too.
I'll be there.
Yeah, the weather's supposed to be a little warmer on Friday, I saw. So that's positive.
Yesterday.
That's positive. Congresswoman Castor is, said she'll be there, Representative Cross. And, our chair, Gina Driscoll, and our, Secretary Treasurer, Dick Sanders will, both be there as well, I understand. And the chair of the, St. Pete, City Council, Hopwood Gertis is going to, said he will be there too. And the gentleman who runs the restaurants on the pier is going to speak as a business owner who's very
Chuck
excited about
Prather?
this. Yeah. He's gonna be there.
That's good.
That's this Friday. Then, delayed by a week, but on next Thursday evening, the Clearwater City Council is voting on their agreement with PSTA to provide PSTA the funding that for the Clearwater Ferry. So we delayed the launch of the Clearwater Ferry by a week because it was supposed to start on Thursday, but the council was voting. But I don't foresee any problem with that. So on January 23rd now, Thursday, January 23rd, there will be an event in downtown Clearwater to launch the new and improved Clearwater Ferry service that will now operate on a scheduled basis instead of by reservation, and it'll operate 4 days a week instead of 3 days a week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Starting on January 23rd, it will only operate between downtown Clearwater, right under the bridge at Coachman Park. This is where their dock is, to the Clearwater Beach Marina. Hopefully sometime soon, we will expand the service to Dunedin once the hurricane-damaged marina in Dunedin gets somewhat usable.
Planning on it.
Yeah, so we're working on that. So that is January 23rd,
10 a.m.
10 a.m. February 1st, we will launch launch the reservation system. We'll go live and launch the ability to ride our airport shuttle, which we are branding the Grouper. The Grouper, in honor of the tasty fish sandwich in Clearwater, where you can take Allegiant Airlines from St. Pete Clearwater Airport. You can take the Grouper for a much lower price than Uber or Lyft or other thing.
So that you can actually afford to buy a grouper once you get.
Yeah, so you can afford a Grouper sandwich,
It's
exactly.
actually gonna be called Grouper.
Amanda, is it called, is it Grouper or the Grouper?
It's the grouper.
The
And I'm jotting down, take the grouper, win the grouper as a
Okay.
tagline.
The Grouper. Take the Grouper. I like it.
Okay,
I'll have the
Or
group.
catch a grouper is the other.
At Market Price.
so that launches February 1st. So we're excited about that too. And then February 13th, February 12th, we'll have the legislative committee, and 13th we'll send our comments and stuff up to that.
So February 1st, what time, February 1st? Do we have a time?
I don't think we have an event yet scheduled for that. Do we,
Okay, so just
Amanda?
February 1st. Okay,
No event scheduled yet.
okay.
Excited. Yeah, I don't think we will plan a second trip to Tallahassee, but once the session is up and running. We're gonna go next week during, Ron said it was their first committee week, although I thought they already had one, but, and then one during the session, and then Harry was talking about we would maybe have a trip to DC related to this Uber stuff, maybe in February or so. We'll have to see. We'll figure out that. Yeah. The last thing that I would just, unfortunately it didn't get onto the agenda, but it'll be on your executive committee agenda for February, is we did draft I mentioned at the last executive committee that I was suggesting we draft a new board policy regarding emergencies to kind of give me some cover to work with the county to implement new services or suspend fares or whatever they want, whatever Pinellas County Emergency Operations Center needs for the next hurricane or the next emergency. We didn't really have any policy on that. And so our attorney drafted up a very simple thing that basically says declared emergency, the CEO is allowed to, at the county direction, as long as I inform the board, whenever that might happen, yeah.
Good.
That's perfect.
How did it go this past time?
What'd you say?
So that wasn't in place before.
It wasn't in place, I think it was kind of implied, but
So this
now
would just
we
make
just
that
have that in
official.
writing, it's official, yeah. So I'll bring that to this committee to review next month.
Okay.
So we can put that in place. Hopefully we won't have any hurricanes in January or February. But you never know nowadays. Yep. Okay. Any other questions, thoughts? Commissioner Reed, would you like to update the committee on our visit to Kenneth City?
Oh, yeah, Brad and I attended a meeting with Kenneth City, what, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
It's hard to keep it all track with all the storms and everything. But they are interested in becoming a, I guess, paying member of PSTA is the best way to put it. And, so we did a little presentation to their city commission. I've been working with Bonnie Noble on the Suncoast League of Cities stuff, which I'm president of that. And that's kind of led to, Bonnie's the vice mayor of Kenneth City. That led to her saying, how can we become a full member? Because they recognize the benefits of having, they want a transit stop in their city. Apparently whatever they have is just right outside of the city limits. So we'll see how that goes, but it was a productive meeting and Brad gave a great presentation. And I feel we were well received and I think they want to take the next step to moving forward.
Yeah.
So,
The city manager, they asked the city manager to work on a survey of their citizens
Right.
about what they exactly would want. Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Did we ever get the numbers for, speaking of that, I think that, there's some cities that pay differently than if they're members? And that we were gonna look at the numbers of what if we're covering the costs, like the comparison of being a member and paying, and being a city that's just paying for services. Remember, we talked
Yes.
about that,
Yeah, we do have that.
and we were gonna look at making sure we were covering
Right.
between, you know what I mean, covering the cost, and then also what was the difference between the fees?
Right, I mean, and what I presented to them, Treasure Island and St. Pete Beach specifically are the biggest ones. We have contracts. They were not part of the PSTA district when it was voted on back in 40 years ago. And so they, instead of the PSTA .73 property tax being levied in property in Treasure Island and St. Pete Beach, or Kenneth City, St. Pete Beach and Treasure Island contract with PSTA, and we bill them for the hours of bus service and PSTA access that goes into their city. So they kind of like pay à la carte out of their own general fund of their city. And it depends on the city. At one point, a former city manager of St. Pete Beach did a calculation that PSTA's property tax is like 0.73 or something like that, and that the equivalent coming out of their general fund for transit was like 0.5. So they felt it was, for the service that they got but that was, St. Pete Beach has higher property values than Kenneth City does. So I don't know which would be cheaper, for the city. But we can do that calculation, yeah.
Yeah, because we talked about it before, getting those numbers, getting the calculations and seeing where everybody's at.
Yeah.
And there was something about that, I guess if Kenneth City decides to come in that way, we have to open or do something to put them on the charter, don't we, or put them in the membership?
Yeah.
Well, they would have to have a vote by the citizens, and then now the state legislature would have to approve of it.
Right.
So that would be the hardest road to go that way. But starting off, we talked about maybe an incremental approach where they would start off with a contract and then see where that goes.
Where the numbers are
Yeah.
equivalent to,
They seem very open to it.
Yeah, they
seem
did.
positive.
They're very receptive to whatever we can come up with and they come up with. I think Brad said they want to get their citizens' input. And then we'll just go from there, one step at a time. To close that deal.
Yeah.
Close it.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nothing else, right? See you on
for
Friday.
Business?
yes.
Our
Oh, yeah.
esteemed Mr. Miller did not say that we celebrated our 2 millionth rider.
Yes,
Was
we
it
did, right?
Yesterday, or
Yesterday.
one of those 2 days. So
Really?
we officially have over 2 million riders, and we were at the stop right there on Fifth Street by City Hall. So that
Oh,
was
for
a.
Sunrunner.
For Sun.
Oh, okay.
What did I say?
You just said 2
Well, you
million.
said
2
2
million
million
Sunrunner,
riders.
I'm
So I
sorry.
assumed it was Sunrunner.
For the Sunrunner, so I just thought that
Yay.
was something super.
You actually keep track? You have like a
Oh,
counter?
yeah.
Well, and you see it on the
Oh,
board,
yeah.
the ridership.
That's,
How do we get our numbers?
Brad, you know.
That's nuts. I
Well,
can't believe it already, 2
um,
million.
Mayor,
Brad, you're gonna talk
we would-
about the lasers?
Commissioner Vic Sanders calculated the exact 2 millionth
Did she?
rider.
I did.
Exactly,
I
the
was up
man-
all night
The
too.
man was there.
Good.
We did a scientific analysis that approximately now we have had 2 million rides on the system.
That's great.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's very good news.
The only thing I thought was a little questionable was that the man that was selected is a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had his veteran card, so he rides for free. But the grand prize for being the 2 millionth rider was a month or a year of a Flamingo card rides. So I really didn't want to give it to him. But then he's like, "Oh, I need it." I was like, "Why? You're a veteran." He's like, "Well, I forget this sometimes."
Oh,
So I gave it to him.
There you go.
that's so nice.
Well, he may have somebody riding with him who's not a
Yeah.
veteran, so it helps out when he has a companion or something.
Yeah.
Or having a backup.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, exactly.
Somewhere else, so
Yeah, I thought it was.
that's
good.
great.
That was nice you gave it to him.
Oh,
We
all
do.
right, well, if there's no other business, then we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.